ARESxGOD here, and it's time to talk about Bleach or the Zaraki Kenpachi show, and this is why I love Bleach. I think very few series even come close to the hype that Bleach has to offer with anything, and this episode just, last episode we had so much emotional payoff and beauty with Rukia's Bankai, and then we have here Zaraki just showing you can't win against this monster, and he's probably my favorite captain, one of my favorite characters in anime period, let alone in Bleach. And I just love characters like this who just, I don't care about the rules of your powers, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. There's nothing I can cut, and I love Zaraki Kenpachi, and this episode is just the beginning. We still haven't fully seen what he's capable of after what happened between him and Unohana. But anyway, let's get into the episode and talk about it. Now, at the start we have Isane and Yachiru there in the infirmary. They get attacked by Gevnail, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name, Lee, who kinda, Stern Ritter V, the vanishing point. But if you read the manga, of course, or you know before, he wasn't actually a proper enemy, but we're gonna get to that. Now, my favorite thing here, probably also throughout the episode besides Zaraki, has to be Yachiru, and I called her your witch last video if I remember correctly. But she's so fun and cute and kinda has the same instincts as Zaraki. She took after him considering how they met. She went instantly for the punch. I love Yachiru so much. And that guy, I have three forms here: erase form, erase existence, and erase existence from your mind, which that can be a very, very powerful ability if you use it properly, so to say. It kind of reminded me a bit of the JoJo stand. I can't remember the name, kind of ironic because it's a memory stand where you can only remember the last three things, which for me that's the scariest stand in JoJo. There's so many stands that can kill you, but things that mess up with your mind are a lot scarier for me. But anyway, JoJo is another conversation. Here, with him erasing his existence, Yachiru was going based just on instinct, and she was doing more than fine there, considering how tricky that power is to actually fight against it. She was trusting the tingles. And I love that so much, trusting her instinct the same way as Kenchan or Zaraki here. And also her sword is quite powerful, because with how it works, she kind of called it like a copycat, but she summons those two beasts and kind of messes with the distance or makes people misjudge how it's going to attack, from which angle, from how many points. And it's a very tricky also ability to fight against, because you think you dodged it, but you actually didn't dodge all of the attacks there. And she's just so cute, a bundle of killer energy, so to say. She will fuck you up if you go against her. But this is where we have not really being able to take up the fight, so to say, because this guy, Lee, I'm just gonna call him Lee simple, wasn't the actual enemy they were facing here, because we have Gremmy showing up, the real enemy here, the real Stern Ritter, and it's revealed when he killed Lee instantly that he was just a creation of the visionary, and in fact Gremmy is the true Stern Ritter with the power of imagination. Anything he imagines becomes reality, and this is one of the most powerful abilities, but also is not as powerful as you think, because it's also very limited by your imagination. While yes, imagination doesn't have limits, it's a core concept, but your imagination can also have limits, so that's the only limit on this power, and can also work against you at some point. We're gonna get to that. That's why I kind of like powers like this, and also it was perfect for him to face Zaraki here, but we're not there. And now, while Gremmy shows up, kills that guy very easily, or dismisses him as a creation, He also makes Yachiru's arms made of cookies. Like, hey, your bones are suddenly made of cookies. He just imagined that, which, yeah, how can you win against an opponent like that? They were way outclassed there, but thankfully Zaraki shows up, and I love the moment between him, before we get to the fight between him and Isane, when Isane asked about Unohana, and he was just straight up, she's dead, I killed her, it is what it is. And Isane was okay with it, even though of course she's very sad that Unohana had to die. Even I am a bit sad. I know the purpose, I know what happened, why they did it. I love that episode, one of the best fights. Unohana was just awesome in that episode also, and it made perfect sense for what happened between Zaraki and Unohana, trying to awaken him, get him back to how he was back then. But also at the same time, I'm sad about Unohana because she was such a cool character. Hopefully we get more in the Hell arc, but that's into the future here. Now we have Gremmy versus Zaraki here. And Gremmy actually gives Zaraki a fight, and I was like at the start, I mean, you're very smug and kind of makes sense with your power, with imagination, but I don't think you have any idea who you're facing. That was my entire thought, the entire fight. Hey, this guy is very strong, but I don't think he fully understands who he is facing. And that proved to be his downfall. We're gonna get to that. Now, this is where Zaraki goes into slash him, cut him, but it doesn't work instantly. He imagined his body to be as strong as steel, and Zaraki, we know how he is. He likes to hold back, doesn't fight full on at full power against his opponents. He has all of those, as we know, but when he fights, he's like, I should have just said so from the beginning. I can cut steel, so I proceeds to cut. But wasn't gonna be as easy. While he cut him there, Gremmy is able to kind of ignore a lot of the damage he's receiving. He just imagined that wound was healed. So even though he got cut up, it didn't really mean a lot. But this is how Zaraki wore him down, so to say, and he got interested into the fight. And when you get Zaraki interested in you as an opponent, yeah, I don't think you're gonna like the end result, or maybe like it. Here depends here. Now, my favorite funny comment from Zaraki was when he told Yachiru, hey, run away, I'm gonna take care of this. And Graham is like, I don't think she can really run away. The bodies are, her bones are made of cookies. What the hell is a cookie? He didn't know what a cookie is. Or Rangatan, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. But after this, I think Zaraki is just the unstoppable force. This is how you see Zaraki here, because Gremmy kept trying this rules, this war, I'm gonna do this to you. He puts him into this water cube to make him drown, then has him fall down in the cannon made into the stage. Hey, I won, this is very easily, my power is unstoppable. No. You don't know who you're facing, and it looks so good, especially the backgrounds, the theme there. It felt like an actual death battle. Even Gremmy was getting more and more into the battle. For the first time in his life, he wanted to prove himself to fight against somebody, and mainly thanks to Zaraki, he has this effect on his opponents, even though he bursted out of the stage, saving Yachiru. But the key thing was that her bones were back to normal, so you can distract Gremmy having focus on something else, and he undid without realizing, or even realizing what he did to Yachiru with the cookies, there. So it needs a lot of focus, and they finally saw eye to eye. Zaraki started provoking him, can't fight me, the strongest has to crush the strongest also. And this is where it made sense for Gremmy. He never felt in his entire life, when I kind of how Saitama is also, he always wants to fight strong opponents, he never got challenged. It gets very boring at some point where everybody you're fighting just snap your finger, they get deleted. This is why Zaraki does what he does. The bells, the eye patch, holding back against opponents. He wants the challenge. Is because of the journey, not the destination. He could crush a lot of the opponents very easily, even at the beginning when the series started, him against Ichigo. If he took him seriously there, Ichigo would have been dead. No more Bleach moving forward. But this is Zaraki. And he actually provoked Gremmy, got him into the fight. It kind of opened his mind, and finally Gremmy wanted to fight. He wanted to crush somebody. I really liked when he pulled out all of the guns. Behind him, rockets, he went full on, and nothing works against Zaraki. He just took it with a smile, and I love that unhinged smile so much. Started cutting him more and more. He was almost crushed by that huge hand that Gremmy imagined there, but no, kept coming back and back. You can't stop Zaraki when he's after you. Here, even more after he's finally back in full form. I know Yuhabak defeated him there, but he didn't have what happened between him and Unohana, and this is where you have the true Zaraki in this episode, but not fully, because we're gonna get to that now. Gremmy finally slowly started creeping up on him. He started realizing what he was facing, started panicking, being more and more overwhelmed by Zaraki, and he actually imagined himself being defeated. Even Zaraki said that, hey, you imagined yourself being defeated, and this is very true, that imagination can also work against him, and panic and emotions, how your thoughts work, and him never having faced an opponent like this, or having faced somebody that was willing to go against him. Yeah, he didn't know how to handle that situation, but Zaraki kind of gave him the hint, and this allowed him to recover, imagining himself like he's never gonna die, and put him back into fighting shape, so to say, here. And this is where he showed how broken his ability is even more. He didn't clone himself there, he created another self, so to say. Like, there's two Grammys now, they're gonna do the same thing, they have the same powers, and doubles the power of his imagination there. And this is a very broken ability, and he actually summons a meteor to crush everything, like the entire Serate there. And Zaraki was like, hell yeah, I wanna cut that thing. If it was anybody else, just how do we handle this? What are we gonna do now? This is everybody on the sidelines, the normal Shinigamis. Wait, what the fuck? But Zaraki, no, this is why I love Zaraki. And for the first time here, he finally calls out, Nozarashi, are you excited? Referring to his Zanpakuto, he finally acknowledges the name. And yeah, Gremmy is still pretty much a bit oblivious here, not realizing who he's facing, and Zaraki just instantly charges at the meteor. I love you, Zaraki. But during him going after the meteor, I love the flashback here. We get a bit of a flashback with how Yachiru met with Zaraki, both of them having no name, and how they stuck to each other. And Yachiru is really good for Zaraki. They complement each other really well, and Yachiru being also the name of Unohana, he named her after her here, and this is awesome between them. And I was just grinning the entire episode. Even right now I can't really organize my thoughts. It was just a hype episode, if I could say it. This is just a hype. When you have Zaraki on screen fighting, hype. Every time he cuts the meteor in half. Like, why not? With that huge cleaver. Remember, this is not his Bankai. That was just the Shikai with the huge ass axe, cleaver, however you wanna call it. That was just the Shikai for the first time here, and it looks great. And him saying, "There's nothing I can't cut, and that's very true. But Gremmy, being Gremmy, tried to put him into the vacuum of space there. Nope, he just came back. He's like the Terminator. You can't keep Zaraki down. Keeps cutting him more and more. He actually tried to use parts of his body to make him explode. Nope, nothing works against Zaraki. And he was ramping up more and more. The more damage he takes, Zaraki, the harder he gets into the fight. And also related to his power later on also. But Gremmy, this is why I said it at the beginning, imagination also has its limits, or your imagination has its limits, because Gremmy wanted more and more to win, tunnel vision there, and he imagined the powers to beat Zaraki, imagined the same power levels as Zaraki, and maybe you can imagine that you can see it in front of, hey, this guy is like an unstoppable force. I'm gonna imagine the same powers for myself. Which, yes, easy done. In the spur of the moment, he imagined the same powers. He gets them, but he starts crumbling away. And yeah, he turned himself into a monster, but he couldn't handle that. He imagined Zaraki's powers, but he didn't imagine a body. He couldn't comprehend something containing all that power. Limits of imaginations, they do exist, and this is where Zaraki, like, I love him. He just breaks limits with everything. You can't stop him, especially right now. I love Zaraki, I love him, and the moment that I think Gremmy kind of loved this fight, even though he lost, was kind of going through life, so to say. He was just, yeah, I can do anything I want, everything is very boring. But for the first time, somebody actually challenged him, and revealing that he was just a brain at the start, that even his own body was part of his powers there, and he fades away. So yeah, amazing episode. Zaraki just being Zaraki, and I can't wait to have more when I get to his Bankai also, moving forward with what's to come. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the episode in the comments down below. And I felt like a kid just screaming the entire episode. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, it helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Bleach. Make sure you check out the podcast also, because anime, and Zaraki Kenpachi. Bye bye.